in a drag race between an original Ford GT40, a second generation Ford GT from 2006,
so nice.
and the third generation Ford GT from 2017. Well,
Insane.
we're going to find out because I'm going to race them over the stunning quarter mile.
Who do you
I'm
think's
Matt
gonna
Watson,
win?
and you're what?
I think the latest one, just because of new technology, but who knows? Let's find out.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Watching Car Wow. This is pretty amazing.
That is sick, man. I'd love to do videos like this. That would be my
Right,
dream
let me
one
tell
day.
you about these cars. I'm going to start with the original. So that's actually a Mark III from 1967. It has a 4.7 litre naturally
Very old.
aspirated V8 engine, and it puts out 310 horsepower and 450
Which is a lot for
newton-meters
its
of
time.
torque. It drives the rear wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. Now that car weighs in at 1,230 kilos, and back in the day, 1967, it was $18,000.
Wow. And back then,
Now,
that's a lot of money.
That thing's valued at over $2.5 million.
Oh!
These are the conversions in pounds.
Wow.
Now we come to this car, the 2006 Ford GT. It has a 5.4 litre
That's pegged.
supercharged V8 that puts out 560 horsepower and
Good shit.
680 newton meters of torque. It drives the rear wheels via a 6-speed manual gearbox. This thing weighs in at 1,500.
That looks nice. I love the wheels.
Back in 2006, one of these would set you back £110,000. Now though, they fetch around $500,000. Fine.
So these classic cars were great investments if you got your hands on one and just held it. Keep the mileage low, put it in the garage,
These
forget
new
about
cars, they just depreciate.
Depreciate.
But these classic cars, they increase.
it. You know what,
in
these
value.
ones are like more collector's cars.
Yeah.
That's why it's different, man.
Finally, we come to the latest Ford GT, the third generation. That has a
That's gonna decrease in
3.5
value.
litre
Yeah.
twin turbo V6 that puts out 650 horsepower
It's the turbo.
and 750 newton
So much
meters of
power.
torque, and it drives the rear wheels via a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. It weighs in at 1,385 kilos, although Ford quote that car with a dry weight, so you need to add an extra 100 kilos, which means to compare to these cars, it weighs in at 1,485 kilos. Price of that new? £440,000. Today they fetch over $1 million, and that one's worth.
Ford's probably thinking, all our cars just keep going up in price, so we need to set the price higher because it's not fair, we're losing out. Because they're thinking, how are these old cars of ours just going up in value so much?
Worth a little bit more because it has a bespoke paint job, and it's been signed by 3 people.
We've seen this car on the other
Yeah,
videos, the
we
same
saw
one.
the designer
Now,
driving
can you
and he
tell
got
me in the
frustrated because he couldn't
comments,
drive
Yeah.
it.
looking at their signatures and their names,
Yeah.
how they're associated to the car. Now before we race, I want to say a huge thank you to the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles for setting this up. This is their car, the GT40 is their car, and they're
Mad.
arranged for the latest Ford GT to be here as well. Now I'm going to speak to the person who's driving the GT40.
It might
His
be the
name
same
is
guy.
Dana, and he actually manages all the cars in the Peterson Museum and makes sure that they're in tip-top condition. Dana, how are you, mate?
Not different guy.
Doing just fine. It's a little hot in here, like in a fishbowl.
Oh really? Well, you've got quite a lot of glass,
No air conditioning.
whereas I've got air conditioning, so I'm quite comfortable.
Matt's loving it.
Though for some reason I have my heater turned up somewhat. That's a bit silly. So tell me a little bit about how you think that car's going to run, because it's old, it's probably a little bit fragile, and it's basically your baby. But you're going to give it full beans, aren't you?
Yeah, hopefully I'll give it 4 beans. I'll give it as many beans as I can. You're right. I mean,
He's
this is a
sweating.
57-year-old piece of machinery, and all the
So
parts
old.
are, mostly original parts. So I'm racing an antique here.
It sure is. But what a beautiful looking antique.
That is
Let's see how
stunning.
it does. Now let's speak to the owner of the 2016
I think this is the
Ford
guy we
GT.
saw.
His name is Camilo Prado, and
I
he
think it
actually
is him.
designed the
It's
car
him,
that I'm sat
same
in
guy.
right now.
Let's
But
see.
for some reason he's sold his version of one of these that he had to buy the latest Ford GT.
Hi Camilo.
Yeah, same guy.
Good. Nice to see these 3 lines.
Basically, a lot of people in the comment section were saying that he struggled to drive the car. Like I felt like he done all right. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to be some pro driver level because he's
But
not
he's
a
a
racer.
designer.
Like that.
He's not a driver.
He's not a driver
He's
like
not a
that.
track driver. He's not a NASCAR driver.
He was launching it. He was doing his best, but yeah, they could have got a better driver. But some people are not confident or comfortable letting other people drive their car, and I don't blame them. Look how expensive the car is. He don't want no one touching that.
true.
He probably sold an arm and a leg for that shit.
Yeah.
up.
So what's it like? You're looking across at the original GT40 and you can see the car that you designed, which obviously took all its inspiration from that car, and then obviously you're sat in the latest car which you didn't design. Out of all of them, which do you think is the most beautiful?
I think the one that I'm in is probably the most
Yeah, it's most
dynamic. The vehicle that you're in, the one that we worked on with my team, is definitely a very sexy car.
And of course, that original. Just look at the shape of it. I mean,
Yeah,
back
that
in the
looks hot.
day,
Yeah,
it must
man.
look like something
that.
Imagine
from
that
outer space,
back in the
really.
day, the old roads.
And even today, it just looks so good. So good.
that was shut down the
I can
road.
see that he's like thinking, just can you stop talking? Let's go with this race because I'm getting rather hot in here.
He's baking.
Yeah, he's giving me the thumbs up to get on with it. Actually, before we race, we're going to do the customary car one sound check.
Yeah, we've gotta do a sound
let's
check.
do them in age order.
Dana, can you go first? Can you give us some reds in your old?
Look at that old school key. It's like a house key. Sounds good for an old car. That sounds
A few revs
alright.
then, a little bit of an ease forward. Now I'm going to rev up this one.
Whoa, that
Oh,
one
hear that
sounds
supercharger?
good. I love that sound.
It's like a deep noise.
And finally, Camilo, will you rev up your car?
It just gets deeper and deeper as the age goes on.
I'm gonna lie, Camilo. I think you won that test.
Anyway, I think you might win the next one, but this isn't really about racing. It's to see how the cars have changed in terms of performance over the years as you move through the generations of Ford GT. So let's do it. Let's do this drag race.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, yes, best start.
He's off.
Going sideways.
The difference in
The
technical
new
is
car's
clear.
had me.
Matt's car done well there. It kept it up for a while until like midway.
Oh, he's absolutely killing me.
He's gone.
Yeah, beast. Very cute that one at the back.
Then it is a very old car.
Yeah, mad on. It's older than me.
Decent
Both of us.
start, but in the end, it wasn't to be, was it?
First of all, it's going to you, Camilo.
I beat you off the line with
Yeah,
my
you
epic
did.
launching skills, but then you sort
You
of
took
sailed
off.
Okay,
past
yeah,
me rather
yeah.
easily.
Quite
Yeah,
quickly.
this thing does take its time getting into the boost.
But once it's on boost, it really flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting how it goes through stages of wheel spin.
I had a bit of wheel spin as well. Anyway, over to you, Dana. So how did your car do?
You know what? My issue is, of course, is getting traction at the start. So a lot of wheel spin.
Oh, very cool.
That's a very important call.
Important,
Do you need
man.
to take it? Is it your bank manager saying, listen, you haven't damaged that car, have you?
No, everything
Bank manager's like, please don't tell me you pushed that. Please.
is good so far.
I bet he lost on purpose.
So you had wheel
Yeah,
spin,
just they don't wanna push it.
old tyres on that, really. They're not great for traction. These are quite old on this, and he's obviously got modern tyres, so that does make a difference, doesn't
does.
it?
Yeah,
Tires
it
are
does.
very important.
And you know what? This is what I tell people. Old cars are old cars. You just hope for the best.
But the car survived. It did the run, and were you quite happy with it overall, though?
Yeah, actually I was. I mean, she did really well. Like I said, a lot of wheel spin off the line, but no match for you guys. Sorry.
Well, there you go. It's age, innit? Bless it. So then, what exactly happened? Well, the 2017 GT won. It completed the standing quarter mile in 11 seconds.
Quick.
The 2006 GT took 12 seconds.
Just 1
and
second, but look at the gap.
GT40 came last. It took 13.9 seconds
Nearly
to do the
2
standing
seconds
quarter
Yeah.
mile.
It don't sound like
Okay,
much,
now
but
we
in
have
car
a
way,
rolling
it
race from
is.
40 miles an hour in second gear. See what happens. Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
That new GT is too quick. It's crazy. He's putting his foot down on it. He is pushing it.
Look at that GT. Go.
Yeah, he's uncatchable, man. I love that.
Whoa, that was a bit sketchy on the brakes.
I actually think
Your car performed better then than in the drag race, didn't it? You didn't have to worry so much about wheel spin.
Yeah, correct. Once it was, the rolling start, it was fine.
Still got smoke
And
though.
how about you, Camilo? Was that good for you? It seemed like you were straight on boost. I thought I'd rip you from the get-go,
Oh, he
but
sweat.
nah, you were
When?
on me straight away.
I think it was a pretty good start. I was trying to be very even with you, and I could actually hear you say 1, 2, 3, and then go.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
He absolutely battered me. Anyway, one
Brake
more test
test.
to do. It's a brake test.
Yeah.
But if you'd rather watch another amazing Generations drag race, click on the pop-out banner up there for the link in the
M5
description
is
below
up
to go
there.
watch it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll find out if you click on that pop-out banner. Okay, so we were going to do a brake test, but it appears we have a problem because look at this. The GT40 is listing somewhat.
It's what? Oh, flat tire. Seriously.
Oh dear!
Oh dear is right.
I thought you had a suspension issue.
No, flat tire.
It's a seriously flat tire. That is done.
Isn't it done? But as you notice, it's only one side, so...
It's only one side. So I'm guessing you don't want to do the brake test anymore.
Hell no.
Yeah,
Car's
enough
taking
damage. Enough damage is
It's going
done.
to lose its value.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invitation, but... Yeah,
Damn. Okay.
that I apologize, sorry. Unforeseen.
I've
you
kind
know.
of got an idea of what would happen in the brake test, and it would be that you would probably come last.
You know, I think you're right. You know, you guys would be stopped long before me.
Yeah, he'll keep
We'll get on
sliding.
the brake test without the original GT40. Let's do it. We're going to do this test from 70 miles an hour. You ready? Here comes the cones.
Oh, his brakes are very good. They're probably ceramic. They're probably ceramic brakes.
No way! I cannot believe
That's
the
a massive
difference.
distance.
My
Yeah.
car was in full ABS the whole way through that. It was like... da, 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 da. Yours just dug in.
Yeah, this thing has some amazing braking power. I've never seen
Clearly.
a comparison before.
It's such a huge difference.
Wow.
I mean, I can barely see you. Where are you? It's like what, 3 car lengths?
At least.
That's 10 years. 10 years difference. I mean, you got way better tyres. You got Michelin Cup 2s on it. You got carbon ceramic brakes. I've got
Yeah, I
some
knew it.
oldish
Ceramic
Goodyears
brakes.
and just normal iron brakes. An older ABS system, and you could just feel it there, just being so busy.
How fast were we going?
Well, we did it from 70, which is like the national speed limit in the UK. That is such a huge difference if you were
Wow.
braking on the motorway in an emergency. Newer is better when it comes to braking. It's a bit
Yeah.
of a shame we didn't have the old GT40 in it because I think that would have been like another 6 car lengths ahead of me.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
We'll still
there we
be
go.
running.
Now, if you'd like to